of things like the ocean, the sun, space, you know, whatever, women, you know. If you weren't so terrified of these things, you probably wouldn't pick on them all the fucking time, and this world would be, there'd be 100,000 people in this world that suddenly wouldn't be so awful.
GBS is just full of noobs.
God. I hear their periods attract bears. Man, they do. Well, you know, don't let her pee on your fucking, you know, don't let her, you know, make a demarcating line of pee around your campsite then, and that won't be a problem.
Or just don't go camping when...
Yeah, don't let them go camping when they're menstruating. Guess what? They don't do it all the time.
Contrary to popular belief.
One of my favorites was, you know, how this one goon was going on about how, you know, women can't be Navy SEALs because, you know, the dogs can smell and stuff like that, and this woman is like, well, you know, with medical science, we can keep ourselves from having periods. You know, that's very much possible. What? How can you disrupt nature like that? All the rest of the like, oh, God.
I don't know. Well, what was their rationale for being afraid of small children?
It wasn't afraid of small children, like, in general, but I remember, like, this one, like, there was a thread about, like, how kids freak me out because, like, for instance, just little things like, there's this deaf child who, like, had damaged vocal cords and had never said anything before, and this was really just kind of a weird, unexplained thing because, like, then one night she was just kind of sitting there, and she was sitting in her bedroom, and they heard a voice coming out of there, and they thought, you know, her parents thought, oh my God, somebody's in her room, and it was her sitting there kind of talking to herself or singing to herself or something. And it's just freaky little instances of that, or, you know, children, or one of them was like hidden messages in children's drawings, and you know, they were finding, like, you know, swastikas and neo-Nazi symbols and satanic runes and all this other kind of shit.
Yeah, I know as a child I purposefully
oh yeah, I was a huge Anselm Day fan when I was a kid, let me tell you.
I don't know. It's just absurd.
But the ocean is my favorite part, you know, because it's not like, you know, catching a jellyfish sting on the shoreline. It's the seaweed thing.
Seaweed? I used to love to run through seaweed fields when I was a little kid.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds fun though.
It was, like, growing up by the water, it was cool.
Right, exactly. But, like, they never got past the whole there's something slimy touching my leg. You know?
And then they'll never get something slimy touching their junk.
Right, exactly. What's the other one? Moths.
Moths?
Some guy said, you know what, I hate moths. I can't sleep if there's a moth in the room.
Neither can I, because he usually tries to, like, land on you.
Yeah, it usually lands on me a fucking dozen times, yeah. Usually,
so you just swat it.
You swat it, or you shut the light off, or, you know, you shut the light off and turn the light on in another room, and it goes in there. And, okay, that was what the guy said, is because it lands on you and stuff like that. And then somebody else went, because I fucking see shadow people all over the goddamn place when it comes on. Have you ever heard of shadow people?
No.
Shadow people is real simple. Do you know what a dust bunny is?
Yeah.
Not like literally the ball of dust.
Oh.
When you walk into... This, I distinctly remember this happening more than anything from grade school, but this happens all the time in real life. Imagine you're outside for a really long time, you're playing outside.
Yeah.
So say recess or gym class or something like that, and you walk inside, and you kind of see black spots all over the place.
Oh, that's because your eyes haven't adjusted.
Those black spots are the dust bunnies. And how you never seem to be able to look at them, they're always running out of sight.
Yeah.
That's, in Japan they call them dust bunnies. But they're also shadow people and stuff like that is another name for it, because sometimes they can take human-like shapes, and the two most common is a man wearing a hat and a hooded figure. The thing is, like, and somebody actually figured out something, is the majority of many optical illusions is caused by a resonation frequency in your eye, because the human eye resonates at about 18 megahertz or something like that, and it causes, like, these gray blobs to appear just at the just like right over here, just at the edge of your vision.
Yeah.
Nothing generally appears just in front, because you know, we have all
it's always on the periphery.
Right, we have a bunch of perception blockers to keep things out, but your peripheral vision is more alert because it can take that kind of data without, you know, giving you a stroke. Now, frogs can't handle that. That's a very interesting thing. Frogs have this cutoff in their optic nerve, because if you did something that didn't interest the frog, then there's a kind of cutoff to keep its brain from getting that, or else its brain would explode, basically. their brains are just too simple to handle too much data. So like, unless like there's a fly buzzing around, in which case then it's let in. You know, human senses have those kind of filters all the time to keep you from just overloading. But yeah, there's a guy who discovered that. And one day when he was fixing one day he was doing some work on his foil. I'm not even going to look it up right now. He was doing some work on his fencing foil. He had a clamp, and he realized that there was some kind of fan nearby from some machine he was using that resonated at approximately 18 hertz. And it was, I forget what it was causing, but that's how he figured out. It was called the ghost and he calls it the ghost in the machine. And that's where that term comes from. So it has nothing to do with computer sentience or anything like that. Oh well. And on another note, the book barn has to be the worst fucking form I've ever read.